Right guys, let's get into it. There's a fair bit to cover tonight, but I'm not going to make it too heavy, and we'll make sure that we are done and out here by 7:30 for everyone. Cool? Now, can I see by a show of hands those who are currently using social media to market their business? Awesome, that's what I like to see. Now, keep your hand up if you are happy with how that marketing is going. Awesome. Who would like it to improve? Everybody else. Awesome. Excellent. All right, so it is my goal by the end of tonight, guys, to make sure that you have some tips and tricks to take away to really boost that social media marketing and get some more ROI out of it for your business. So what we are going to run through tonight is just the current state of social media for business, and this will be in Australia. So it's Australian facts, it's Australian numbers, so it's local and it's relevant. We're going to run through some best practices and some social optimization for your platforms. We're going to cover Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We'll share a couple of quick case studies. The idea of that is to give you a bit of an idea on the different types of industries that we're working with at ATTENTIOMEDIA and the different types of industries that social media is actually working for. And we'll finish off with the social media strategy or the action plan. So that is the template that you guys have got on paper, and in a minute you'll also get an email. Scotty's working very hard over there punching in email addresses. So you'll also get an email with that, and it'll be in a Word format so you can edit it yourself. You can start working on it tonight if you like, or you can take it home and work on it there. Alright, so current state of social media in Australia, almost 8 in 10 people use social media. Now, these stats are coming from the Census Social Media Report for 2018, and of course, this is only a focus group of people. It's not everybody in Australia, but the idea is to give everybody a bit of an idea on, the scale that social media is at these days. There's plenty of social media marketing gurus around who don't like to refer to it as social media anymore, because it's a bit of a slang term. Really, social media these days is the current state of the internet, for the simple reason that 53% of internet usage is social media. So 53% of everybody's time online globally is on a social media app. So that gives you a bit of an idea on the scale that social has got to nowadays. How often? 59% of people access social media every day, and check social media 5 times a day. Who checks social media more than 5 times a day? Okay. A lot of us. Has anybody ever used one of those apps that records how many times or how many hours, like a moment, how much time you spend on your phone? No. Yeah, you don't want to. It's very scary. It is very scary. All right, when we socially network. So, and I apologise if this is a bit small. Can people see down the back? Awesome. So, when people are socially active is in the evening, 71%, first thing in the morning, 57%, lunchtime 47%, and last thing before I go to bed is 39%. So this gives you a bit of an idea on when people are online, and when it comes to scheduling your content, to publishing on social media, the key times at the moment in Australia is obviously early in the morning, lunchtime, and in the evening. So it makes sense because that's the time when people have got time to be on their phone. Which platforms get the most usage? And this again is in Australia. So 94% of people in this group use Facebook, followed by Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Google+. I don't know how Google+ made it onto that. Does anybody use Google+? No. Does anybody know what Google+ is? Yeah. Shouldn't bag out Google+ too much, because marketing on Google is very important, especially when you have people typing in keywords for your business. So Google+ plays a little part in helping your website rank a little bit better. But again, it depends on what your goals are, and I'd say for most of the people in the room, being active on the top platforms is going to get you a better return on investment than having a ripper Google+ page. If anybody does have an awesome Google+ page, please let me know. I'd love to have a look. Where do people use social media? So 84% of people are using it on the couch, which makes complete sense. And down the bottom here, we've got 12% use it on the toilet. Now, I reckon there's about another 12% of people that lied. I'm pretty sure that's a lot higher. In the bathroom, yes. People are doing their hair and on social media. But this is a big one. So 84% in the living room. What are most people doing? Well, I shouldn't say most people, but what do people generally do at night time when they're on the couch? Kids are in bed, you're watching TV. But that is the highest period that people are using social media. So if you are thinking about other advertising mediums, please do keep that in mind. Now, even though we run a social media marketing agency, I am not, against traditional marketing when it comes to TV, newspaper, radio. Those platforms still work. Many businesses have a lot of success with them. So it's not about not using traditional marketing methods. It is simply about what is best for your individual business. Who uses social media in Australia? So we've got 99% of 18 to 29-year-olds. But my favourite stat out of this one is nearly 50% of 65-plus-year-olds use social media. Whose grandma is on Facebook? Or your mum, depending on where you're at. I was at the doctor's surgery a few weeks ago, and there was a couple sitting there waiting for their appointment, and it was obviously a mum and her mum, the daughter being about 50 years of age, and the lovely white-haired, Betty White-looking lady was clearly heading towards her 80s. The 50-year-old daughter, I would say, was scrolling through her emails, presumably for work. It was about 9 o'clock in the morning on a weekday. But guess what the grandmother was doing? She was on Facebook. which was awesome. And a lot of people don't think that, that type of age group are on social media. But what happens if I'm on social media, it looks like this, right? When the 80-year-old grandmother is on social media, what does it look like? Okay, so what you will find is that the older that your target market is on Facebook and any of the social media platforms, the better results you will have, because they're not flashing through the news feed, they're taking time, they're having a look, they're genuinely interested. So if you've got a product or service or you're trying to reach the older demographic, Facebook and Instagram and the top platforms can be really, really effective. So again, it comes down to who your target market is, who you're trying to reach, and if you are trying to reach your older demographic, social media does work. Why would you want to be using social media for your business? Well, they say here that 64% of consumers are more likely to trust a brand if it interacts positively on social media. Now, who's had an experience where they have messaged or left a comment on a business Facebook page and it was just crickets? They got no reply. Happens to a lot of people. And what I say to a lot of businesses that we work with is that community management, that getting back, that responding to people, all those comments is so important, because it is a touch point for your business. And if you're going to jump into social media marketing, if you're going to put the time and the effort and the investment into it, it's really not a set and forget post and then I'll put another post up in a few days. Because what's going to happen is when people interact with your content, if there isn't a reply, and especially these days, we want replies straight away, we want that answer straight away. That's where social media can be so powerful, but if we don't reply to those comments, it can have a negative impact on our brand.
Can I ask a quick question on that?
Sure.
Sorry. So if you have someone inbox you on a Sunday night at 7 p.m, I don't like to reply.
That's perfectly okay. I mean, look, it depends on your business. It depends whether you've got a team managing your social media. If it's just you and yourself and it's 7 o'clock on a Sunday night, then that's up to you. Like, really.
But ideally, should you reply there and then?
Ideally, it depends. And it depends what type of business it is. If it's something that needs an answer straight away, then again, it depends whether you want to make that commitment of doing it on a Sunday night, or if it can wait until Monday, that's okay. Because you might be in an industry where you don't need to reply straight away. It'll be okay to wait till Monday morning. So again, it's just up to you. 80% of Aussies are on social media, but only 47% of small to medium business. So that is a big plus for everybody in this room if you are not on social media, or if you are, because you've only got half the competition. All right? Paid social. Does anybody do any paid social media marketing? Awesome. Not anymore? Okay. Perfect. Okay. We're not going to dive too much into the paid side of social tonight, guys, because that's a whole other world unto itself. But what you can see here, for many people in the room, there's a lot of opportunity when it comes to paid social. And on Facebook, in a minute, I'll give you a tip that will help you potentially improve that ROI. All right, so can we find your business on social media? For most people in the room, it's yes, which is awesome, and well done. Congratulations. These are some of the local businesses that are winning on social media. Now, some of them are Attention Media clients, some of them aren't, but I've put this up here to make sure that everybody gets an idea on the different types of businesses, right? It's not just high traffic e-commerce businesses that are really suited to social media. We have a painting group business in Marootna. We have Nicholson Builders, obviously do a great job. Software partners, accountants, Lush Skin and Body, I should say, Brother Pablo and Origin Athletics. All these businesses are smashing it on social media, and they are in a wide range of industries. So if you're thinking that it's maybe not for us, then there is a chance that social media will work for you. But why does social media work so well? There's a couple of psychological factors. Who's heard about the whole thing with people spending too much time on Facebook and getting depressed and all those sort of issues? Most people have heard about that. Right. The positive side of social media, and the reason why it works, is for the rule of 7, right? Where a prospect needs to see or hear your marketing message at least 12 times on average before they feel like they can trust you, okay? Or before they feel like they'll take action and buy. They are saying that by the year 2020, that 12 touch points will have risen to 20. Basically because we're being bombarded with so much content, so many ads. We're exposed to 5,000 ads a day, and that means that we're just switching off. We're scrolling faster, we're not taking notice. So the amount of times that people need to come across your brand is going to increase before they feel like they know, like, and trust you. The mere exposure effect is a psychological phenomenon by which people tend to develop preferences simply because they're familiar with something, okay? So, again, it relates back to the rule of 7. It takes you a little bit of time before you know, like, and trust something. So that mere exposure effect is where social media works so well, because you can continue to publish content. You can continue to put stuff out there. You can continue to reach the right audience so that when that person is at the stage where they're ready to buy, your brand, your business, your product, your service will be top of mind. And we've got the law of reciprocity, which is basically when someone does something nice for you, we as humans feel the urge to do something nice in return, most of the time. So again, that's where if you're providing value on social media, if you're putting out content that's helpful, that's educational, that's entertaining, over time you're going to build up people. Who here has followed someone on Instagram or Facebook and they feel like they know them really well because they've been following their content for so long? Okay, a few people, that's awesome. So again, that's the point that you want to get to in your business, where you're building this relationship with people online so that when they're ready to make that purchasing decision, they're going to go for your business, your brand, your product or service. Okay. All right, so this is the more exciting part of the night for many people, and I hope you get something from this. So we're going to start off with a few of Facebook don'ts. And my image has disappeared. So, overuse of hashtags. Now, when it comes to Facebook, every single individual word that you put into a caption or a post on Facebook is actually searchable. So if you go into the search bar on Facebook and type in any phrase, any word, Facebook will list that just like Google ranks content, just based on that word. You don't have to have the hashtag in front of it. So when people fill up their caption with hashtags, you don't have to do it, and it also can look a little bit scrappy, spammy, and Facebook have taken the approach where they want people to spend as much time on the platform as possible. So when people are publishing content that's just full of hashtags, it doesn't look good, it's not a great user experience, and there's a chance that people will switch off, leave the app, which is not great for Facebook, and you could see reduced reach because of that. Does everybody know what reach is? Can I ask? So a few people. So on Facebook, your reach is how far your post will go in the newsfeed, how many people it will reach, how many news feeds it will get into, okay? Now, there are certain things that you can do on Facebook, which means they will love your content and they will show it to a lot of people, and there's a few things that you can do which Facebook don't like, and they won't show your post to many people because it's not good content. And hashtags can be one of those factors. So if you like to use hashtags, you can, but I suggest just keeping the minimum if possible. All right, who has ever boosted a Facebook post? More people. Awesome. How did that work for you? Okay, awesome. What was your objective, can I ask, when you hit boost? What were you trying to achieve?
Just to put it out there.
Just get it further. Yep, awesome. So, plenty of people have seen this, and I'm sorry, it's probably really small down the back there. You know, this post is performing better than 95% of other posts. You should boost it now. This is Facebook's little way of, you know, getting a little bit more money, getting a little bit more advertising dollars. With the boost post button, this gives you, there's different objectives with Facebook advertising. And the objective that they use for the boost post button is called post engagement. So when you hit that button, you throw $5, $10, $50, $100 at it, what Facebook is going to do is it's going to show it to people who are most likely to hit that like button or leave a random comment. Sometimes it might find the right people, sometimes it won't. But if you are constantly using that feature to try and reach more people, try and reach the right people, you could potentially burn through a lot of money. You might get some good engagement, but it's not going to be going to the people that you most want to see that post, okay? The flip side of doing that is that you use the Facebook Business Manager, which is the whole back end of Facebook where people talk about, you know, super detailed targeting and really niching it down and all that type of thing, which I'm more than happy to supply people with information on if you would like it. But please just do be wary. If you do hit that boost post button, yes, there's several reasons there. Yes, question.
When you boost though, it does ask, like, you can specify your demographic.
You can, yes. So you can add in things like an age demographic, location, all that sort of thing, which I highly suggest you do. Please do try and narrow it down, find your target audience before you do hit that post button. So yes, it can, but the Facebook Business Manager side gives you like much more to choose from. So again, it just really narrows in on who you can target, and it'll get you a better return for your dollar. Is there any other questions on that one?
No, it was the same question.
All good? All good. Perfect. And the last one is don't link out. So who's ever put a post up on Facebook and they put a link in there and hit publish? Most people. Awesome. I do it all, I've done it all the time myself too. Now, the reason why we don't want to link out is because Facebook wants to keep people, as this is the same for all social media platforms, they want to keep people in the app, okay? So when you go and you put a link into your website or a blog article or to a YouTube link, Facebook hates YouTube links, you're taking people off the platform, which Facebook doesn't want. They want you to spend as much time on the platform as possible so they can show you as many ads as possible. So the trick is to be a little bit more strategic with your content in using a video, an image, or a caption that can relay your message without necessarily having to throw a link into every post. What you will do is, once you have put out some content and got some engagement on a particular topic, you then might put out your 5th post with a link to that landing page or your website or something like that, okay? Yes?
I recently did a post on Facebook, and it was actually Facebook that prompted me to link to my website.
Really? As you were writing the caption?
No, it came through as like a message from Facebook.
Really?
To engage more people to the website.
Okay.
So it was a simple post that linked them to go to the website. So
sure.
Just what you're saying, they're sort of there.
Yeah.
They don't want me to do that, but they want you to.
I haven't seen that one personally. I wholeheartedly believe you. And I'm not sure why they would do that.
That's
but
obviously sending traffic out, isn't it? Out of the
well, yeah, it would be. If you're sending traffic to your website, then they're leaving the app and they're potentially not going to come back. So that's a new one. I'll have to look into that one. Yes.
I think it might have something to do with ads being placed on certain websites. So like
Okay.
they can link from like your Facebook page, your
Yes.
business page to a website that has your ad on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I
potentially.
think I've seen it before. I think I've seen it
Potentially.
before. And I've been like, oh, that's sneaky.
Yeah.
Doing well there.
Okay. Yes. That probably makes a lot of sense. I'll have to look into that one myself. Thanks for looking that up. With linking out, it's not to say don't do it, but you will generally see a reduced amount of reach. Your post will reach less people if you are putting links into every post. But then again, you might get a prompt from Facebook saying put a link in. All right, some Facebook do's. Use video. Please use video. You will get a lot of bang for your buck if you are using video, and there's a number of people in the room tonight who can attest to that and say that it's worked very well for their business. 4 times as many consumers would rather watch a video about a product than read about it. Does everybody agree with that or not? A few nods. Yep. Awesome. Consumers who view video are 1.8 times more likely to purchase than non-viewers. That's almost 200% increase simply by viewing a video. And the biggest one is 53% of people want to see more video content from businesses. Do you guys agree with that, though? A few nods? Would you like to see more video in Facebook's newsfeed or less? Less?
It's okay with automatic starting ones. I hate them.
Autoplay? Don't
yeah,
like
I'll
autoplay?
turn autoplay off.
Yeah.
With them really
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So again, it's something to think about, and again, this all comes down to your industry, your business, and what you're trying to achieve, guys. So, video may be a great option for you. It may not be. Video might be a tough ask for you to produce and publish on a regular basis. There are people that can help with that. But again, it all comes down to your business and what you're trying to achieve. The power of video. Now, this is an awesome little clip that I'd love to show everybody. We've got the boys from Bendigo Media Group. Brandon and Arden are here, and they created this video for one of their clients over in Bendigo. It's organically reached 1.5 million views. And how long has it been out for now, guys?
3 weeks now.
3 weeks. So it hit more than 1 million views in 3 weeks, 21,000 comments, 15,000 shares. Does anybody want to see it?
No.
Please close your eyes.
Did you get this idea of Kenny, is it?
Okay.
He stuff never people say, never.
Yeah, we did 2 videos. So we did one for the tradies side and then the wives side. So the tradies one got about 300,000 views. This one we only predicted sort of 10,000, but this one just took off because it's obviously more shareable. Yeah, we sort of got the ideas from what works on social media. Funny videos sort of go viral. It was relatable, and obviously the tradie wives, everything they're saying is it's the opposite. When you watch it, you'll see that that's the reason it got shared there.
So to add a little bit of context to this video, it was for a client who works in an industry where she supplies support to wives and husbands who are tradespeople. Okay, so she does a lot of business building, consulting, all that type of thing. So this is a video that the boys from Bitco developed for her, and it went gangbusters. Now I'm hoping the volume on this is going to work, guys. So. No, it's not. Sorry guys, bear with me.
Audio cable input.
Here we go. That's a big flop. Sorry boys, it is a great video.
Oh my god.
Audio. Guys, if you'd like to check it out, you can jump on your phone onto Facebook and search for Ladies with Tradies. And I'll try and figure out why this isn't playing.
I had fun making it. Choose one. Which one?
I don't know, the one
Yeah. Sorry.
This one, speak
yeah, I did.
Yeah. Like your email and then.
Audio cable input.
Tricks. Alright, thanks guys. Alright, apologies guys. That did work earlier. So feel free to watch it. Because it is. Alright, I will keep moving on. Captions. With our video, guys, when we upload a video to Facebook, 83% of people are watching video with the sound off. Has anybody watched video with sound off? Most people. Awesome. So it really brings home the importance of adding those captions to your Facebook video. You can use that, you can do that in the video uploader inside of Facebook. Or you can also head to rev.com, which is a transcription service. You upload your video there, and they will provide a caption file for $1 a minute. So if you've got a 10-minute video, it costs you $10. You can upload that straight to Facebook, and your captions will be automatically set. And you will have a much better user experience for 85% of us who are watching video with the sound off. Another little workaround is that you can upload it to YouTube. YouTube automatically generates captions, and in the YouTube settings you can download the CSV file for free and upload it to Facebook. So that's a little bit of a workaround as well. Going live. Who has ever gone live on their mobile before? A couple of hands. Awesome. What was the experience like?
Nerve-wracking.
Nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking for most people. How did you go though?
Yeah, okay, stumbled a little bit. And I found that I get sidetracked. And I'm like, hang on a minute, I gotta get back to it. So it's the only bad thing that I've found.
It's a great way to get lost and start talking and really have a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. A lot of people do find it a little bit confronting, but there's lots of reasons why working up to live video is a good option, because Facebook loves live video. They want people to be watching more and more video, and the things that Facebook loves, they will reward you with greater reach if you do that. And a quick little side note is that they have also released a feature called Premiere, which allows you to live stream pre-recorded video. Sounds a little bit confusing, but if you don't like the thought of going live on your phone in the moment, you can record the video and then stream it live once it's been edited and all that sort of stuff.
How do you access that?
That if you open up your Facebook video uploader, it now says it up the top. So it says Premiere, Live, and Upload. So it's sitting there, it's a little Premiere button. And that'll run you through the steps of uploading a video from your laptop or your computer, and it will set it live for you. So you get all the benefits of going live, but you don't have to be doing it in the moment. Another one of the Facebook do's is post often. Who struggles with posting consistently on social media? A lot of people. Everybody does. I do too. It's really, really hard. And it all comes down to planning, having a bit of a strategy in place, knowing the types of content that you want to put out there and when, and then making use of things like Facebook's post scheduler. So you can sit down on a Sunday afternoon and schedule your content for the week, and then you know that is done, or the month, either way, whatever time suits you best. The reason we want to keep posting often, guys, is again going back to the mirror exposure effect. We want to be getting in front of the right people as many times as possible while providing some value. And because the organic reach on Facebook, so that's when Facebook pushes your post out into the newsfeed, is getting very, very low. So if you have 1,000 people on Facebook, the amount of people that Facebook will show it to you for free is now often below 5%. So you're reaching a very small number of people. And I've had clients in the past tell me, no, look, we don't want to be posting, each day on Facebook because it's too much. It'll start annoying people. But the reality is that the majority of people who are following your page will not see that content because there is so much going out. So if you're feeling like posting daily is too much, it could be the fact that you're not getting that content out to the people you want it to be. And the more often you post, the more Facebook is going to love you for it, and the more people will see that content over time. So it's a bit of a snowball effect. And also the use of the Facebook pixel. This is another big Facebook do. Does anybody know what the Facebook pixel is? Awesome. Now the Facebook pixel is a little piece of code that comes in the Facebook Business Manager. That's where all the big ads get set up. And basically that goes onto your website so that you can track website visitors. Who's been shopping online and then gone to another website and had that exact item show up, right? That is often Google advertising, right? They will chase you around the internet and show you pictures of that item. Facebook advertising works in a similar way, but it's all in the Facebook news feed. So when people go to your website, they might look at a product, they might look at a particular blog post. If you have the Facebook pixel on that website, that means that you get cookie, and then you can retarget to people who have been on your website and show them more content or show that product or bring them back to your website to complete that purchase. So this is getting into the deeper end of Facebook Business Manager, but I do suggest if you've got a website that has products for sale on it, please do a little bit more research on the Facebook pixel. It is really easy to set up once you've got your Business Manager. So take a couple of notes and dive into that a little bit more.
With the business manager, we
Yes.
need to log into it because after you showed me that, I don't know that I've been logging. Are we meant to log into that and then log into our Facebook? each
So
time?
yes, so when you sign up for Facebook Business Manager and simply Google that term and it will show up, you use your existing Facebook login details to log into the Business Manager. And if you've been hitting that boost post button, you will already find ads that have been running inside of that Business Manager. So there'll already be stuff happening. You just maybe haven't accessed it in the past because you'll have put in your credit card details before. You've been hitting that boost post button. So there will be ads in there. So when you go to run an ad campaign in Facebook Business Manager, it all happens inside of Facebook Business Manager, not in the Facebook app itself. Does that answer the question?
So if I'm in Facebook, I'm actually in it already.
Yeah. Like
No?
you go there, you log in with your credentials, and then it'll automatically log in after that.
After that every time.
Yeah, so it's a standalone app. It's a standalone website on the computer, and there's also an app for Android and iPhone.
Okay,
But
so I
they're
need
two
to
different
download
apps.
that for the phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. All right.
Do pages still exist though?
What's that? Sorry.
Pages. The Pages app.
The Pages app. Yes, that still exists. Yes.
Yeah, so you can have the two of them on the phone.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you can run them all simultaneously. You can have Facebook, the Pages app, and the Business Manager app as well.
That's fine because I'm losing things.
Yeah. It can be a lot to keep track of.
Yes.
All right. Instagram. Who loves Instagram? Everybody loves Instagram. Instagram is blowing up all across the world. They've blown past 1 billion users worldwide. And it is one of the most popular apps in Australia as well. Again, guys, it comes back to posting often. If you're looking to build that follower count, if you're looking to reach the right people, you have to be posting content often. And the reason, again, goes back to the algorithm wants to know that your account is active and that you're publishing content that people can engage with. So for example, if you post one post at the start of the week and then nothing for the rest of the week, the algorithm says, well, there's not much happening on that account, so next time they post, we're not going to give them too much priority, not too much reach. If you're posting often, that says, hey, there's lots happening here. If people are enjoying the content, they're going to give you more organic reach. Okay, so you'll get more for less. You get more ROI. Has anybody used the insights section in Instagram? In Facebook, awesome. So in Instagram, you can hit on the tab that brings up insights. So you've got all the options here on the home page. There's the 3 little bars. Tap on that one. That'll bring you to insights, and it gives you all the demographics and info on your current followers on Instagram. So you've got things like gender, followers, when they are online, and this is a very important one if you're trying to pick the times that your audience is online, okay? So what we want to try and do is post when everybody's active on Instagram so that we get as much engagement as possible, and the app will tell you those times. So for my account, it's 9 PM at night time is that highest peak period for traffic. So it is, go back to, yes, so it's those 3 little bars.
Aha, I wonder what they did.
That's the one. So you've got all the info in there.
Cool, awesome.
Instagram stories. Does anybody create Instagram stories? A few people in the room, absolutely awesome. Again, this Insights tab will give you top locations, age range, all the types of info that you need to know so that you can tailor your content for your followers, right? So you're creating content that they're most likely to engage with. And creating Instagram stories is a great way to reach people. Quick little tip is to add a location tag if you're trying to reach a specific area, okay? Instagram creates its own sets of stories for different locations, so towns. When I'm posting on Instagram, I'll put in the location tag for Shepparton, and that comes up in Instagram stories in its own little circle. People can tap through and look at all the different stories that people have put up from the area. So if you're trying to reach people outside of your current followers, that's a great way to do it as well. Make sure you add in that little location tag. All right, and be social. It sounds simple, but again, when it comes back to growing that social media presence, you have to be engaged, you have to be replying to the comments as much as you can, when you can, because again, that's going to tell the algorithm that, hey, there's someone looking after this account, they care about their followers, they're trying to provide value, and it will do its best to get you in front of as many people as possible. So please do interact, please do, and use the comment section as a great feedback tool as well. You can have lots of conversation and engagement in that comment section and get a lot of feedback about your business or your product or your service from those social media comments. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is also going through a very big growth phase at the moment, and this is partly due to the fact that they just opened up the algorithm. They want lots of people using the app, so they're giving people lots of organic reach. So it's been dubbed the professional services network, right, for professional people, but it's growing very rapidly. They've now got video on LinkedIn as well, so you can upload your videos to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Make sure you're spreading your content out. But again, just a couple of quick little tips here when you are posting to LinkedIn. Make sure your profile is nice and updated. Use plenty of video. Create a company page for your business. If you are on LinkedIn, you have a personal profile, and you can also create a company page for your business, which will, it's like a mini website. You can punch in all your business details, and then you can post content into a separate feed as well, which people can discover. So, for example, a company I work with, Gateway Packaging, all of the company staff are on LinkedIn, but then there's a separate company page as well, which gets discovered and has its own set of followers. So again, it's just about expanding that reach and getting in front of as many people as possible. Another cool little trick with LinkedIn is they have now introduced the QR code. Is anybody here on LinkedIn? If you are on LinkedIn, if you open up the app, you can, on the search bar at the top, you can see the little QR code icon. If you tap on that, it'll open up the little square box, hover it over anybody's QR code, and it will immediately populate your profile so they can message you and follow you straight away. So, awesome little tip is to add your QR code. You can save it to your camera roll, you can download it to your computer, so popping it in things like your email signature, on your business card, all those types of things make it really quick and simple for people to find your LinkedIn profile rather than having to go through, search through, try and find your profile picture so they know it's the right person. So that's another awesome little tip. All right, we'll fire into some case studies really, really quickly. And again, as I mentioned, this is more about giving you an idea on the different types of businesses that are using social media, and it is extremely effective for them. One of them is Shipman's own brother Pablo, who have been posting consistent content. It's been getting them great results, and they've actually been nominated for the best marketing campaign in the upcoming business awards. So they're doing an absolutely awesome job driving more foot traffic into the cafe. Software partners, again, they're using Facebook advertising as a form of lead generation. So who thinks accountants can be pretty boring? Apologies to any accountants that are in the room. Facebook is working super, super awesome. Okay, they are collecting leads for startup businesses, people that are in that startup growth phase, for 74 cents. So they're collecting people's information and email addresses, which they can then follow up with and put into their startup program, and it's costing them 74 cents per lead. So again, it depends on your objectives and what you want to achieve, what your budget is, but for them, that is a fantastic result. For most people, that is a fantastic result. Video marketing is working extremely well for Mike Bailey Paint Group as well. They've seen an increase 4x in the amount of local work that is coming through the door since they started implementing video marketing. And they're doing a great job of using video on Facebook and other platforms as well. Just at the job site, really raw, just with the phone, nothing too fancy. If anybody knows Mike Bailey, he's actually bought himself a gimbal, so he's enjoying that very, very much. And that's going to level up his video content a little bit, so that's going really, really well for them as well. All right, does anybody have any questions before we dive into the action plan side of things?
What's the main reason people are on LinkedIn? I mean, like we've got Facebook for friends and family, and I don't know what it's for.
LinkedIn is really, really popular in the professional services headhunting space. So again, you might have heard people refer to LinkedIn as being like, you know, your resume online, like in social media. And it is very much that case. It's about that, you know, showcasing, job hunting. There's lots of recruitment and all that type of stuff that happens on LinkedIn, but it's expanding much more than that now, and it is becoming like the other social media platforms where people are publishing content. And again, it's just a little bit different. It's a little bit more professional. It's a little bit more business-based. So whereas Facebook, people are trying to, you know, find something that entertains them, so they're in a different mindset. When people are on LinkedIn, it's a little bit more business-focused. You know, they're trying to find a particular product or service, or trying to find a particular professional. So that's where LinkedIn is, you know, coming into its own and being really, really popular. So I hope that helps. Guys, we will take a super quick break. If you'd like to grab some more food, head to the amenities or grab a tea or coffee, please do so. And yeah, we'll jump back into it shortly. Before we kick back into it, does anybody here have a strategy in place, an action plan, anything like that based around their social media at the moment? Perfect. Okay, awesome. So, for the next 20 minutes or so, we will run through the basic framework of an action plan for your social media. So please feel free with the template that's provided, and for those of you that don't have the email yet, I'll get that out to you very, very shortly. Please feel free to, you know, adjust this, make it work for your business. the headings in here are basically all you need, and you're going to be able to fill it out as we go along, depending on the objectives that you've got, the type of business that you run. So, step one is to choose your objective. So, what are you really trying to use social media for? It could be brand awareness, it could be brand advocacy, it could be website traffic. You might want to increase sales. You might want to do a number of these things. So it's not about just picking one. You can have multiple objectives, and it can all form part of your strategy and your action plan. So what I will get you to do is to, if you have a business, then you can choose a topic. I'll quickly run around the room. If anybody's got any questions about nailing down a particular objective, please do let me know, and then we'll move on to step number 2. And if anybody's not too sure about any of them, what they might mean or how they might work in with social media, please do let me know that as well. I think I was going down the back here. Can you see that board? Just further forward. Just while you're having a quick think about that, guys, who would like to increase their sales? Everybody. It's a pretty open-ended question. When it comes to using social media, we need to look at it from the point of view of marketing versus sales. Okay, the two things are very, very different. They're often added in together and spoken about in the same sentence, but marketing is completely different to sales in the fact that when you are marketing, and especially when it's on social media, you want to be providing people information, entertainment, providing them some value. It's not about, popping up that post. It's got the big red writing saying sale, buy now, buy now. You've got 24 hours left, right? Nobody likes to see those ads, okay? And it literally is, like, we call that an ad. Regardless of whether it's a post or whether it's a paid ad, you will find that you'll get a lot less traction, and please let me know if that works really well for you. But when it comes to social media, it really is about that building a relationship with your target audience, okay? It's not about trying to grab the quick sale. And a lot of people who, perhaps it's an e-commerce store, they sell a lot of stuff online, they might have huge sales attributed to social media. But what you'll find is that the sales are one part, and they have a very big marketing campaign on the other side of that, which is driving those sales, okay? And the marketing campaign will often involve a lot of content that answers a question, that clears up an issue, that provides more value around the product, okay? So you're really trying to educate your customer, and you're trying to build up that know, like, and trust factor, so that when they are ready, they will look to you to make that sale. So when it comes to creating content and using social media, please do put that marketing hat on and think of it from, this is what I'm going to invest in order to build a relationship with my customer and my target audience, so that the small percentage of people who are ready to buy will do so once they know, like, and trust me. Step 2 is to review your business. So are there existing social media platforms set up? If you work in a larger business, medium to large enterprise, there may be existing social media profiles out there that you don't know about. So you might have to check out where they are, what platforms are being used. The other thing is to think about is to which platform is going to be most relevant. And I'll show you a slide shortly which will help break down which platform might suit your business the best. Who's going to manage your social media? Again, it depends what type of business you are. If you're a one-man marketing team, or whether you've got a whole lot of people behind you. Who is going to manage the content creation? And again, this is one of the big things with social media. There's so much time and effort involved in creating good content. and you have to put a little bit of thought into, am I going to be able to allocate time myself in order to create that content, or am I going to need to get help from the team doing that, or am I going to need to outsource that to another company like Vidco, who do an absolutely awesome job. And then there's the paid advertising side of things as well. Before we skip to step 2, does anybody have any questions around which social media platforms might be relevant? Is there any confusion? You're not too sure? Please let me know.
Do you think Snapchat's still relevant for businesses then?
What type of business are you running?
Well, video business, obviously, it's going to be relevant, but for a cafe or something like that?
I don't have the answer, because the other thing is that your business is your business, and with social media there's a lot of testing and measuring, so I can't say 100% that Snapchat is going to work for your cafe. You're going to have to put out some content, try some things, see if that works for you. What I can say is that, and it's in an upcoming slide, Snapchat has a younger demographic. Okay, it is aging up. The longer social media platforms are around, the older the age, the demographic gets. Like we mentioned before, everybody's grandma is now on Facebook. Facebook's been around for 10 years. Snapchat hasn't been. Somebody's grandma might be on Snapchat, but they might be one day. So again, it's about figuring out who you're trying to reach. If you're a cafe, you're selling coffees, you're selling some food, you might be aiming at university students. Perfect opportunity to use Snapchat to be putting out some content, showing some behind the scenes, maybe giving away some deals or running a competition. Snapchat could be super, super effective in that case. But again, you've got to try, you've got to test, you've got to see if it's going to work for your business. Anybody else? Yes.
I was going to say, is it worth doing one really, really, really well than trying to get on every single platform and trying to do bits and pieces? Because it would obviously be pretty intense trying to keep up with every single 100%. Account.
100%. So if you're in the case where you're running your own business and you've got to do your own marketing, or you have a very small marketing team, then I 100% suggest yes, pick the platform that you think is going to be the most effective, knuckle down on that one. Create the best content you can for that platform, and once that's achieving some results, then jump into some other platforms and test those as well. What you'll find is if, and a lot of people will say, in the business world, that you might have heard the term omnipresent, right? You need to be on every social media platform. If you've got that luxury, that's awesome. If you've got the time and the budget and the people to do that, that's awesome. But otherwise, all you'll be doing is diluting your effectiveness, potentially, if you're trying to juggle heaps of platforms and different content, because as we all know, there's different types of content for each platform, right? Snapchat is all in the phone, in the app, it's recorded straight away, but then Facebook, you can upload pre-recorded videos. So again, like those two types of content clash, so you've got a bigger workload. So yeah, 100% concentrate on one platform, try and get that content down, get some results, and then once you're happy with that, move on to another platform.
Yeah, with Snapchat, actually it would be a good one for cafe. To pay initially for a location filter.
Yes.
So swipe across and then engage with your customers so they can take a snap. And people love doing that crap. They love taking a photo of their food and just saying, I've been here. Engage with your customers like that.
Yep.
But I did notice before you didn't put Twitter up there. Now, do you think Twitter's on the way down? Because I did see that the stocks dropped a couple of days ago.
Yep.
But yeah, where do you sit on Twitter?
If it works for your business, it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
So again, I personally don't use Twitter that much. That for me, that's my business, my target market, the people I'm trying to reach. There's not a lot happening on Twitter in that instance. So again, I have heard from people that Twitter is very, very popular in the teaching space. Lots of teachers, education. There's a lot happening on Twitter in that space. So again, it's trying to find out whether the people that you're trying to reach are on that platform. Because if they are, then you can put some marketing effort into it. All right, step 3, research. Who should you research and what do you want to look for? So we want to research brands and businesses that are in your industry, okay? So basically your competition. So it's time to start snooping, have a bit of a look, see what they're doing, see what they're not doing. We also want to have a bit of a look at businesses and brands that maybe aren't in our industry, but have a large social media presence. So for example, if we go back to the cafe example, you might jump on and have a look at Boost Juice, right? Their social media is massive. They have a huge following. So jumping onto their Facebook profile or any other social media platform that they've got, have a bit of a look at what they're doing, have a look at the individual posts and how much engagement they've got, and then have a look at what reason that post might have got 1 million likes opposed to the one down here that got 50,000, okay? So again, it's just having a bit of a look at the competition, seeing what they're doing, seeing what works, and that can give you a little bit more of an idea on what you could do with your content. And of course, your direct competitors. What to look for, which platforms are being used. So again, this is a pretty handy one. Generally in any business, Facebook is pretty much a given. But once you start jumping into the other platforms, if you're researching the other businesses in the industry, your competitors, see what platforms they're on, see how effective it is for them. There may not be much happening on those platforms, so you may decide to focus your efforts elsewhere. And then also looking at, as I mentioned, the types of posts that are going out, how much engagement they're getting. And the big thing is to look at what they're not doing. Okay, so that's where you can get an immediate edge on everybody else. And for everybody in this room, to get an edge on your competition, one is video, and the second is live video. Again, depends on your business, but the majority of businesses aren't using live video in that instance, and because Facebook and all the other platforms give live video so much organic reach, that's an instant way to get into more news feeds and be seen a lot more than your competitors. Okay. Step 4 is to choose the right platforms. So which platforms are people in your target audience using, and which platforms can you and your team use most effectively? So again, this comes back to that question of, should we use Snapchat for the cafe as opposed to, say, Facebook? So it depends. If you're in a business that's in a very professional setting, an office environment, you may not have the opportunity to be running around on Snapchat or doing Instagram stories all day. You may not. But again, there's different platforms that the content is either going to be fairly easy for you to produce, or it's not going to be easy for you to produce. So thinking about that when you choose that platform, especially if you don't have a big marketing team or it's just one person and you're trying to figure out which platform, making sure that it's the platform that you can create content on most effectively just makes the process so much easier. Now, to break the platforms down a little bit to give everybody some context, we've got Facebook here. Basically everybody's on Facebook. Over 2 billion people worldwide, and it's the widest age demographic. So we've got from 13 to 65 plus on Facebook. So you can pretty much reach anybody there. Instagram is obviously a very imagery-based platform. It's shifting towards video, especially with Instagram stories. Quick little tip, fact is that Instagram stories is now being consumed more than posts in the feed. So that's something to keep in mind. And it's slightly younger than Facebook. So the most popular age demographic is from 18 to 35 on LinkedIn, on Instagram. LinkedIn, again, we've spoken about that. It's that professional social media platform, but it's exploding when it comes to video, and it's a little bit more middle of the road. So we're looking at 25 to 65. So if you're trying to target university students at your cafe, LinkedIn might not necessarily work so well for you. Because again, it's a little bit older, and that's not the type of content that people are going to LinkedIn to look at. And Snapchat, as we've got there, massive platform. Instagram took a big swipe at it when they released Instagram stories, and that cut back their users and the growth that the platform was seeing a lot. But for the younger demographic, 15 to 35, Snapchat's basically just a part of every day, like they're using it very, very consistently. So cafe, sporting goods store, entertainment centre, anything that is attracting or trying to target that young demographic, there's potentially a lot of use case for jumping on Snapchat. Does anybody have any more questions about the different platforms? Happy with that? Step 5 is the content strategy. So who are we trying to reach? What problems are we trying to solve for them? what interests do they have, what type of demographics do they fit into, and what types of content do they consume the most. So if you're thinking right now, what type of content do I create? Trying to answer some of these questions will help. Is anybody struggling right now with ideas for business content? Yeah. Do you feel like sharing?
Yeah, I just don't know what to put up.
What type of business you run?
Personalised printing,
Awesome.
like photo gifts or promotional products.
Perfect. Awesome. So if we think about using social media for the marketing side of things and not necessarily trying to drive sales straight off the bat, we want to try and give people a behind the scenes into the business, right? That you're the business owner, right? People know your face. Big tip, if you want to get a lot more engagement and reach on your Facebook posts, start putting yourself in the post. Especially when you're a local business in the Goulburn Valley area. People know your face. I know it's a daunting thing, but when people do that, you stop the scroll, right? As I mentioned before, we're all sitting on our phone, we're flicking through at light speed. You've got to stop the scroll, you've got to grab people's attention. And if you can incorporate more of yourself or your staff or a recognisable part of the business, that is going to stop people because they're going to go, oh, hang on, I know that person. And I'll have a bit more of a look, okay? So trying to stop that scroll. As for the content, again, storytelling, showing people behind the scenes, like how does the business work, how do you do the printing, what machines have you got, how long does it take, what volumes can you do, like just start spitting out information like that. A lot of the time we'll feel like our business is boring, like who's going to want to listen to us talk about our business, like that's boring content, but you can't make that judgment for other people, right? Because the person who is going to be looking online for a printing service, they're interested in that, they want to know more about that, right? They're researching that. So if you're putting out content based around that, then you're the person, you're it. Okay. So
Excuse me?
yes.
So, do you agree, like if you start off like a post saying, did you know, that would spike a lot of interest?
100%.
Yeah.
Copy the captions that you put into your posts. That is a big thing, right? Because a lot of the time, we're talking about video, and video is so great and video is so popular, but people do still stop and read, okay? And if you've got engaging copy, it just increases the amount of
emojis?
chance.
Like,
emoji, test and measure, try.
I use it all the time.
Strategic emojis, go for it. Please do go for it. Again, like there's such a range of emojis now. You can pick an emoji for everything that you're talking about, keyword, topic, whatever it is. Like there's generally going to be an emoji for it. So use that to enhance, and also the pop of the colour is going to be a little bit more eye-grabbing than just a plain text. So again, it's thinking about how can I stop people in the scroll? How can I grab their attention? So yes, 100% emojis. Also, quick little tip on that. When you're asking a question on your caption, try and make sure that it's at the top, okay? So if you've got a call to action, whether it's go to my website or did you know or do you have this problem, lead with that first. Because what's going to happen is if you put it too far down your caption, it's going to be underneath the fold and no one is going to see it. So you've just got a generic statement at the top, which doesn't get people to engage, it doesn't get them to take action. So lead with your question or your call to action first, so that's the first thing that they see and read. Step 6, publishing strategy. So how often should I post? When is the best time to post? Do I need a schedule for my content? So basically, when it comes to publishing, as I mentioned, you've got to try and keep things consistent and post as much as you can. And this is all going to come back to making your life easy, okay? We don't have all day to sit on social media. Like, I get it, it's tough, it's time consuming. So you want to try and batch your content, like create as much content as you can. If you're doing pre-recorded video or blog posts or whatever it is, try and do it all at once so you're not spreading it out and making it really difficult. Then also when it comes to publishing, you can create draft posts in Facebook. So just go and start to create a normal post as you would. Then you have the option to save as a draft, to publish at a later date, or to publish now. So you can do it all inside of Facebook. You can schedule out a couple of days, a week, a month, whatever, how much content you've got, and you can basically set and forget that part of it, right? Your publishing is done. Or there are a lot of third-party apps like Hootsuite, Buffer, Sprout Social, those types of platforms which, if you're running multiple platforms and you've got a lot of content going on, you can grab a subscription for those, add in your social platforms, and that will do the job for you as well. Especially when it comes to other platforms other than Facebook, because they don't have their own inbuilt scheduler as yet. But really does come down to trying to make everything as easy as you can and getting that content published prior to, so that you can concentrate on running the business and you know that you have content still going out. Step 7 is the engagement strategy. So who's going to check and respond to those social notifications? Who's going to engage with the comments? Who's going to get back to people's questions? And again, it's decide if you've got a team of people, then you can obviously delegate that role. If it's yourself, you can get a little bit strategic here. So we know that the majority of people on social media, in the evening, they're sitting on the couch, they've had dinner, kids are in bed, and they're having a bit of a scroll through while the telly's on. Now, if you're posting content at that optimum time, generally you're going to get engagement, the most engagement, at that period as well. So you know that if I put a post out at 7 o'clock, I'm going to get comments for hopefully the next hour or 2 hours or whatever it is. You might have the option then of replying to those in real time as quick as possible, okay? As opposed to posting, you might schedule it for 10 a.m. in the morning and you're at work and you don't have time to be answering those notifications, okay? So it just comes down to making it work for you and just making it as easy as possible. Another little tip is, because it is social media, do try and be social. So spend a little bit of time each week or each month engaging with other businesses' content, other businesses' page. Just really get out there and be social, because the more you leave your digital footprint everywhere, that's also more opportunities for people to stumble across your profile, come back and have a look at your business. And again, the algorithms will love you for it because you're creating content and keeping people on the platforms. Okay. Yes, yes, definitely. So if you're creating content about a business that you work for, or a client that's got a Facebook page or any other social media pages, 100% link them or @ then their business name, so they're tagged in that post, because that's going to then allow that post to be seen by that business's followers as well. Okay, so that just distributes that content even more. That's a big one as well. Step 8 is our growth strategy. So we have 2 types of growth. We've actually got 3. There's earned growth as well, but we won't go into that tonight. So we've got organic growth and paid growth. So once we've got our profile up and running, we're scheduling some content, we've got the ball rolling, we want to try and make sure that we're growing our following and try not to get sucked into the vanity metrics. I want 1,000 followers, I want 1 million followers. When I say growth, it's not about trying to reach a particular follower count, it's about trying to have a bigger impact and reaching more people, reaching the right people in your industry. So how are you going to do that organically? And that all comes back to that consistent posting side of things. So you've got content that's going out. That comes back to engaging with other businesses and other people's content. So it's getting out there and it's being social. And then you've got the paid growth as well. And again, that comes back to your Facebook Business Manager if you're going to be running some ads. For anybody that's thinking about diving into that side or is already running Facebook ads, really good strategy to use is to use your organic posts, push them out, publish those, see how well they perform. If you get a post that works really well, gets lots of engagement, resonates with people, then create an ad for that piece of content, okay? Put some spend behind it, boost it, push it out further, and you'll see a much better return on investment, because you know that that piece of content's already been qualified, people love it, so then you can put some paid advertising behind it and get it out to more people. Step 9 is the measurement strategy. So taking your objectives, the metrics and everything, that the reasons for you doing social media in the first place, we want to keep a little bit of a record. just like everything in business, we keep records for everything because we need to be able to track it, we need to be able to see how it's performing, and we need to be able to see where we can get better, stop doing things if it's not performing. So again, KPIs, it'll come back, it'll start with our objective. What's your objective? If you want to increase brand awareness, if you want to get out to more people, that's your objective. What is your metric? So your metric is the figure, the tangible number that tells you how much reach you're getting, how your brand awareness is growing. And then obviously you have your KPI. So you might want to reach, you might want to reach 50,000 people in the Greater Shepparton area. That's going to be our KPI for the month. So we know that we're reaching 10,000 people per post, but there's not 50 days in the month. So we need to be looking at some paid advertising to reach that goal of 50,000 people to meet our KPI. And it can be super simple as well, just keeping an eye on what your posts are doing, okay? On the organic side of things, see how many likes that post gets compared to that post. So you have a bit of an idea, you can concentrate on the different types of content, what's working best for your audience. And step 10 is the reporting side of things. So this is more for business. If you're running as part of a team, creating a report that you can hand to the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer, or the CEO, the boss, whatever it might be. Having a report is obviously a great way to keep all that data. And even if it is just yourself, if you are a solo business owner, if you're running your own show, it's still a great idea to keep all that. If you're going to the effort of creating that measurement strategy and making sure that you're documenting everything, keep a report, look at it from month to month, see what's working, see your growth, and hopefully you'll be able to see the incline, and you'll be heading towards your objectives in no time.
Excuse me, Anthony, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
With Facebook pages, just say you've just started your page and you've only got like 100 people there.
Yes.
Is it worth buying likes? Because you're not going to get that much organic reach unless you do a paid ad, right? So you're not going to get much, you're not going to be able to measure anything.
Yep.
So what do you do there for a first time?
So you're saying like going and paying money for followers?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that worth it?
It's
so,
not.
No, it's not. Okay.
100% not. The thing is, if you go out and you buy followers, you're literally buying those people and saying, come and follow me, right?
Yeah, well that's what I thought too, but then I thought, does Facebook actually target the right people for you? Like are they, like, you know how they do it for the ads?
Yeah,
like, I know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just know it's like some of the ladies on my team have only just started a page.
Yes.
How are you going to get organic reach when you don't have many people? And I know that's going to start with content,
Yep.
but I feel like sometimes it just goes too slow.
Yep. Yep. And again, it is a patience game. It is very tough. I feel your pain. But again, if you go out and you buy 100 followers,
You'd rather spend the money on the ad.
100%, 100%, because you're buying 100 followers, and who says that those people have any interest in your business whatsoever? So you might increase your Facebook page likes by 100, and yay, we've got 200 now. But if those people aren't going to engage with your content, it's just dead money. Like you're not going to get any benefit from it.
So you're better off spending money on an ad.
Yes.
For getting that.
Yep. Spending money on an ad, or spending money on getting a video produced, or spending some money in another area that either boosts your content or increases your content, and that'll give you a better bang for buck than buying people who are probably not going to interact with your business.
Yeah, just click like because they're scroll holing for the night, and just like.
100%. Yes.
It's probably going to sound like a really dumb question.
No dumb questions. No dumb questions.
But carrying on from that, when you're starting off with practically nothing,
Yes.
and you said Facebook puts you in front, like they don't just put you in front of anyone's newsfeed, do they? Like it has to be people that are currently following and liking you, and it's got to go that way. Like they don't just put it out there unless you pay for advertising.
No, that's right. So again, it's all based on that algorithm, and there's posts going out, right? And they've all got to be slotted in, right? If you're organically putting out content and you're really new, you don't have a lot of followers, what the algorithm does is it tries to find someone who has an interest in that content, right? And they'll put it in their news feed.
So even though they're not currently...
Even when it's not paid, is that a question you're asking? Yeah,
okay.
they'll always try, I say always try and find, it's generally going to try and find someone who has interest in that, because they want people to be engaging with that content, because they want you to stay in the app, Okay, so the algorithm is always going to try and show you content. You as a user, they want you to have the best user experience possible. They want you to stay on Facebook for hours. So the whole algorithm is based around making sure that the content that appears in your newsfeed is something that you're hopefully going to be interested in. So yes, if you do have a new page and you're posting content, Facebook will try and do that hard work of finding the right people. It's not always going to be 100% accurate, but they will try and find the right people for you. And that's where the consistency in posting, if you continue to do that, you will slowly build up, because the people, Facebook will keep finding more and more people, and hopefully they hit that like button, hopefully they keep watching that content, and you'll build your following from there. But yes, it can be painfully slow. But keep at it, keep at it. Look at the paid advertising side of things. The best way to go, guys, is that combination of organic and paid, because we are heading into the world where Facebook's matured. Facebook makes all its money from advertising, so they're making it difficult. They want people to spend money on ads, so the best strategy often is going both.
Ads not boosting, so they're different.
Not necessarily boosting, no. The business manager side of things can be a little bit difficult to understand, can be complicated. You can do it. Google, Facebook, YouTube, there's so much content out there that will show you how to do it. Have a go. I highly suggest using Business Manager over boosting a post. But yeah, using organic and paid.
So is Business Manager advertising? Or is that
Yes, yes it is. Yeah. That's that high-tech side of Facebook where you can target 50-year-old ladies who like knitting and walking their dog on a Sunday, right? So you can get super popular, super niche down. So I hope that helps. Awesome. Guys, it is 7:30. Well done. Thank you for persisting through that. Apologies that that video didn't work. Thanks to the Business Festival for having me to host the event. Business Centre for having us. Little Gourmet Food Company for the catering tonight. And last but not least, thank you to all you guys for showing up. Absolutely awesome turnout. Debbie told me that this is the biggest event they've had so far with so many people, so thank you very much for coming out and listening to and I'll be sticking around. If you've got any questions, please come up and chat. We'll go from there.